microphones because we'll be on live soon. Hi, everyone, and welcome to an online ISC employment event. My name is Carlin, and I will be your event organizer for today. I also want to issue a special warm welcome to our Facebook audience who is joining us live from all over the world online. Welcome, and we hope you're having a great day. Often newcomers discover that they need to retrain or recertify to further advance their careers in Canada. However, the process can be very expensive. Today, we are going to learn about Windmill and how to access the affordable loans to finance career changes in Canada. I'm going to give the floor to Lydia in a moment. However, I first have a few quick administrative announcements, so please bear with me. So the first announcement that we have is a special thank you to our funder, IRCC. Without them, we would not be able to have these online events. And a few reminders before we begin. I'm just going to remind everyone who's in Zoom with us to please turn off your microphone and turn off your camera. Please note that no abusive language will be tolerated. Please do not post any personal information in the chat box. And please save any questions for the end of the workshop. You'll be given a chance to type your questions, or you can even ask your questions if you're in the Zoom Q&A. There will be some portions of this presentation where Lydia will give you the opportunity to participate in the chat box, so please do keep an eye out for that. An evaluation link will be sent at the end of the workshop. We appreciate if you would please fill out these evaluations to ensure better quality workshops in the future. So without further ado, I'd like to humbly introduce our guest speaker, Lydia. Oh wait, I forgot the land acknowledgement. Might quickly do the land acknowledgement. Okay, so I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the traditional territories of the Blackfoot and the people of Treaty 7 region in southern Alberta, which includes the Siksika, the Piikani, the Kainai, the Tsuut'ina, and the Stoney Nakoda First Nations, including the Chickney, Bearspaw, and Wesley First Nation. The city of Calgary is also home to the Métis Nation of Alberta Region 3. And so now, finally, without further ado, I'd like to humbly introduce our guest speaker today, Lydia. The floor is now yours.
Thank you, Carolina. Thank you so much for inviting me today. And thank you, everybody, for attending this session. So I'd like to start with a short video, and I hope it will play on your end. This video just 30 seconds in total. And I really love this video because in a nutshell, it gives you an idea how Windmill helps newcomers and refugees. So I'm going to share my screen now, and I need to remember to share my sound. I hope everybody can see my screen. So if this video doesn't play on your end, so no worries, it's just like 30 seconds, you won't miss a lot, and then you can always email me and I'll send you a link.
I was brought up in Syria. As a woman with ambition, things were difficult, but I persevered and became an engineer. Still, my parents arranged for my marriage, but I became a single mom when I moved to Canada. I worked day and night cleaning houses, desperate to focus on my studies. So I applied for an affordable loan from Windmill. The loan offered me the support I needed to complete my professional designation. Thanks to Windmill, I'm a proud civil engineer and working towards my MBA.
So somebody can say, what a cheesy story. But actually, like Claudia, she is not an actress, she's an actual Windmill client. And actually, today she helps a lot of newcomers and refugees to achieve their career success in Canada, because actually is one of our mentors. So as you know, our name Windmill Microlending, but it has not been like that all the time. So we changed our name in 2018, and before that, we were called Immigrant Access Fund. Basically, what we do, we provide affordable microloans up to $15,000 to skilled immigrants and refugees who are seeking to achieve their career success in Canada. And I know for many of you, when you hear a microloan, you might think, well, it's another presentation from another Canadian bank. But I have to assure you that we are not a bank. And in the next 15 minutes, I will explain you how we are different and why you should consider us. So Windmill is a charity organization. As you can see here, we have been around since 2005, and we are sponsored by the Canadian government, the government of Ontario, Alberta, and Quebec. Also, we are a national organization. What does it mean for you? It means that it doesn't matter where you are. So let's say if now you're watching us from Toronto, so you can find our office in Toronto, OBC, or Saskatchewan, so basically even in Quebec. So for us, it doesn't matter where you are, and same for you, it doesn't matter which office you contact, or still that office will be in touch with you where you are located. So, and also I have to tell you that since 2005, we have helped more than 7,000 people, and of course, the majority of them, not the majority, but all of them, they're immigrants and refugees. And I always love to tell this story. When I was applying for a job with Windmill, I went to the website to see what the organization is doing. And actually, if you are now in the process of a job search, please always check the company website, check the Google reviews and things like that, because this information will help you to understand if you want to work for this company or if you want to skip this opportunity. So, and that's why I have the slide that I prepared. So I was surprised to see that Windmill has more than 200 reviews, and if you see, they're all 5 solid stars. So, and I don't know about you, but for example, I'm based in Calgary, Alberta, in Canada. So, and when I go to a restaurant, I always check Google reviews, and even the best one in Calgary might have 4.7, 4.8 stars, but it's so hard to see 5 solid stars. So Windmill is proud to say that we have 5 solid stars from every client, and also they're all on Google, so you can connect those people, you can ask about their personal experience with us. And as I said, that we are not a bank and we are not a financial institution. Here you can see how we are unique and different. So first of all, we don't require people to have Canadian credit history. So some of you already have it, some of you have heard about it, but some of you probably it's just the first time when you hear about this term. So basically, Canadian credit history helps you to buy a house, to buy a car, sometimes, and even sometimes when you apply for a SIM card in Canada, you might be asked to provide this Canadian credit history. At least it was my case. And probably you have noticed that I have an accent. So I'm an immigrant myself. And that's why I understand that sometimes to have this Canadian credit history, it's not so easy. So that's why at Windmill, we understand that as well. And we don't require people to have Canadian credit history. Same idea, we don't require people to have a stable income or to have a stable job. We understand that people who come to Canada, they might have savings, or sometimes people who have been here for some time, and they might live off EI or some other incomes. So, but still, we don't require people to have a stable income or a stable employment. Also, we don't ask people to provide a cosigner on their application or have some assets to secure the loan. How our microloans can be used. So they can be used for different things, but like here you can see 4 of them, the main one. So it's foreign credential recognition. So when you come to Canada, you understand that your degree is not recognized, or maybe you came from the Philippines and back there you were a nurse and now you wanna become a nurse here in Canada again. So, and sometimes it's not so scary as it might think. It might be looked at from the first side. So all you need to do, just gather some information and get some funds available, and then you can get your qualification back. So also Windmill Microlending can be used for a career change. So let's say, especially during pandemic, we saw a lot of clients who wanted to jump into an IT industry just because they believe, and it's not for nothing. It's true that IT industry is booming in Calgary these days. So if somebody wants to change their career, and we can see that the skills from the previous career can be transferable to a new one, then those people then can be eligible for a loan as well. Also, professional development loans and upskilling are there available as well. So professional development, for those who might not know, so let's say if I'm a partnership specialist in Windmill, and tomorrow I want to just get some networking skills course or something like that. So then those loans, they can be used for different classes or courses which can improve your qualification. And the last one here is a very good one. It's a relocation loan for employment. Like, what does it mean? It means that, let's say if today you're in Calgary, but then you find a job, but job is located in Toronto. So let's speak of something far away. So in this case, like, you understand it's better employment, it's better in terms of your career. Then you understand that you need to move yourself, or maybe you have a family, so you need to move your family. And very often relocation costs can be very expensive. Even today, if somebody moves from Calgary to Fort McMurray, so the gas prices are very expensive. So, and especially if you have your family and you want to hire a truck to move your furniture and things like that, it can be very expensive. I'm sorry. So, and here you can see the list of eligible expenses. I'm not going to talk about all of them, but I'd like to say about a few things here. For example, Windmill covers living allowances. Like, what does it mean? It means if somebody, let's say, work at Walmart and works 8 hours a day, but then they are a student at the University of Alberta, and the classes are happening every day, but just like maybe 3-4 hours a day. So that person understands that in order to attend those classes, they will have to reduce the amount of hours at their job at Walmart. So then they can show us, hey, I want to be a student, but then I need to reduce the amount of hours, and can you cover my living expenses? So yes, in this case, the person might be eligible for a loan. Or let's say somebody have kids. I have a 2-year-old, and right now she's still at her day home, and I'm available for a presentation and to be a speaker. If she was next to me right now, it would be very hard for me to present. So same idea, let's say if you're a student already, or maybe you're going to be a student and then you have kids at home. So the day carers in Calgary and in Canada in general are very expensive. So if you need those costs to be covered, you might be approved for a loan as well. Same idea, let's say if you are a student already, but then your laptop is broken. So then you need a new laptop. So I'm sorry, that can be covered as well. Once I heard the story, it was before pandemic, and we had a client, and actually he was a student at the University of Alberta. And I don't know how many of you have been in Calgary or in Alberta for some time, but who are familiar that winters here can be very cold and harsh and very dangerous to drive. So that person, he was a student at the University of Alberta, and then one day he realized he needed winter tires because he needed to be in person in his classes. So, and then actually he was approved for a loan just because, again, without those tires, it would have been dangerous for him to drive to his university. So I know that after this session, Caroline will send you a follow-up email, and then I will attach our flyer there, Windmill flyer, and then you can see and have that list of eligible expenses there. I'd like to also tell you that when you become our client, and even before you become our client, we would like you to have a session with a career success coach. Why we do that? Because we are not a bank. We don't want you to come to us and then just sign here, and then you can go and pay. Sorry, my cat came. I locked him into my bedroom, but then apparently he got out to ruin my presentation. I guess I need a loan that somebody to watch my cat. So what I was saying. So a career success coach session, it's a 1 hour session, but why we need that and why you need that? Because we don't want you to take on a loan and then it will become a burden for you or your family. We want to hear your story. We want to see that you know why you need this loan, that you see your career plan, and then you know, okay, you have a plan. Right now, I'm gonna get my degree evaluated. At the next step, I'm gonna apply for my APEGA designation, or maybe for bridge program or something like that. So we need this talk, and you need this talk as well. Because in that talk, let's say if you tell us, hey guys, I need some help with financial literacy. I don't understand how loans work in Canada. Then we can explain that to you. Or you can tell us, hey, I need some help with my job interview. So we can refer you to our partners, like saying like Immigrant Services Calgary or CCIS in Calgary, because over there you'll get that help with your resume for free. And that's why it's very useful for you to be in this meeting and have this conversation. And also what is great about that, this meeting happens before you are approved for a loan. And later on, I will tell you, we don't charge for that meeting. So if in the end of this meeting, if you decide you don't want to proceed with the loan, we are completely fine with that, and nobody's going to charge you for that. And after you become our client, again, we don't leave you alone. We have a mentorship program available, and that video which you saw in the beginning, as I said, that Claudia, she is one of our mentors for newcomers, because she is an engineer, so she mentors people who want to obtain their careers as an engineer in Canada. But also we have some people in our organization. For example, myself, I am a mentor for a girl who came from Nigeria last year, just because she wanted to have a mentor who has marketing experience. So I work with her right now. But also, let's say if we see that somebody wants to become a doctor and they ask us to match them with a doctor in Canada, in Calgary. So we can do that as well through our partners, because again, we partner with a lot of agencies. So we will refer that person to our partner, CRIAC. They work a lot with mentors. Again, I'm talking about Alberta and Calgary, but as I said, Windmill is a national organization, so same concept apply for each province. So, and also we have a base of online and digital resources. Like some of them, they will be available to you after you become our client, but the good news is that some of them, they're available right now. And in the end of my presentations, I will share with you some links, and also those links, they will be sent to you in the follow-up email. And I know you might think, okay, you've told us about good things, but what about your terms and conditions? And I'm more than happy to share this second slide with you, and I'll go over, sorry. I have been in the meetings today since 8 a.m. and now it's almost 6 p.m. and I'm still talking. So our terms and conditions. So we work with the Canadian prime rate. So for those of you who don't know what is Canadian prime rate, I'll try to explain. I'm not an accountant, but my understanding is it's prime rate which comes from the government, and then every bank use it for their rates as well. So unfortunately, Canadian prime rate fluctuates. And for the last 2 years, we were lucky in the term that because Canadian prime rate was very low. So, but then for the last months, I think it increased twice, but just a little bit. So, but still, today it's 3.2%. So this is Canadian prime rate. So Windmill adds on top 1.5%. And why I wanted you to see the difference here, because you have to understand that even Canadian prime rate fluctuates. So it means that, let's say if tomorrow it's 3.5, and then on top, Windmill adds 1.5%. So then the current interest rate today in Alberta 4.7. But as I said, like, let's say tomorrow prime rate goes up, and let's say it's 4%. I don't think it will happen soon, but who knows? Like, so if tomorrow it's 4% and Windmill adds on top 1.5%, so the interest rate becomes 5.5%. Okay, my math skills are still okay. So, but then you have to understand, if prime rate goes up, then it doesn't mean it's not only our loan becomes more expensive, it's every loan in Canada becomes more expensive. So your mortgage loan, your car loan, everything, which is not a fixed rate. So, but today still the current annual rate is 4.7%. So it's very low. I believe that maybe Alberta student loan is a little bit cheaper, because I think Alberta student loan works just with the Canadian prime rate. But the thing is, and Canadian Alberta student loan is a great program. But the thing is, very often it doesn't cover like things like I've described, like winter tires, or like a broken laptop, or like child care expensive. And very often a lot of people, they are not eligible. Why? To be honest, I don't know. But some applications they refuse when we are more flexible in some of the way. I love to tell that Windmill covers gaps which can appear on the way of newcomers and refugees, those which are not covered by a bank or by Alberta student loan. And we see a lot of clients, some of them, they have Alberta student loan for their school, and then they have for their school, but then they pay for their day home involving Windmill loans. So I hope I have explained you the financial part better. Maybe now Q&A you can ask me more questions, and I can give you some examples. But also I'd like to specify here that our repayment rate is 4 to 5 years. So it's a long time for a small amount of money. So it won't feel like big amounts of money each month. Also, we have an open loan policy. It means that you can pay off your loan at any time. When it happens a lot when newcomers come here, and let's say they have already savings, but unfortunately they don't have Canadian credit history, but then they understand, or maybe somebody tells them that, hey, you need to have Canadian credit history in order to buy your first house in Canada. So that's why they apply for a loan, they pay it for some time, and then when their Canadian credit history is built, they pay this loan off. And why we are different from a bank, we don't charge any penalties or administrative fees at any time. So for example, here in Canada, I have a mortgage for my house. If tomorrow suddenly I win a lottery and then I can pay it off, my bank, they will tell, well, we are happy for you, but please pay us on top of 15 or maybe 20,000 just because you are breaching the term of your contract. So at Windmill, we don't do that. And same idea with like, let's say if somebody doesn't need the maximum amount, and so if you don't need like 15,000, you can apply for a smaller amount. Like sometimes I see loans with $100 just first to evaluate somebody's degree, or $200, and then like, later on a person decides, well, now I want to be a student at the University of Toronto. Or maybe that person already had that plan in the beginning, but why not to take the maximum amount? Because in this case, like, you can have your career success plan with, let's say, 5 steps. And at the first step, you don't need the maximum amount. So you can start just with 500 just to pay for your credentials evaluation or something like that. So then you won't pay the interest for the maximum amount. And then step by step, you can apply for more money. And then again, if it's not in contradiction with your career success plan, you will be approved. And then, but you will save some money if you don't take the maximum amount in the beginning. And then, yes, and so you take a small amount, and then additional money can be taken. And our loans, they are not one-time loans. So, but basically, some of the people, they come to us, they take 15,000, and then they pay it off, and then they come again, and again. So we don't have any rule that it's just one-time loan. And I understand even our interest rate is not so high, because, for example, when I came to Canada, I applied for a credit card, and the interest rate was 20% there. So it's probably like 5 or 6 times more than the current interest rate today with us. So, but still, it might be scary for you to apply for a loan, but that's why I always have this slide prepared. Like, same as you, I was a little bit dubious. When I had my job interview with Windmill, I asked the person who was interviewing me, I was like, you guys sound like heaven. So you don't ask people to provide Canadian credit history, you don't ask people to have a stable income or a stable job. Do people pay you back, or they're on the first plane to their home country? And that's it, and nobody hears from them. And I was surprised to hear that actually the repayment rate is 98%. And it has been like that since 2005. So if you think about that, and today is 2000, so almost for more than 15 years, people, they have been paying us back. And as I said in the beginning of my presentation, that we have served more than 7,000 people. So at least 6,800, they're all successful, they paid us back. And the most interesting thing, and we have the solid data, they increase their income more than 3 times. How does it happen? It happens like very understandable. So let's say if nobody comes to Canada first, like they think, oh, like my credentials are not recognized here, nobody wants to hire me, my English is not great. So we all have this stigma. But in reality, your credentials can be recognized here. Your English is great. Like everybody in Canada speaks with some accent. Well, not everybody, but still the big majority of people. So like everything is possible. Just you need to believe in yourself and have some positive energy towards everything. So, and same here, you can see a successful story of one of our clients. If you go to our website, you will find hundreds of them. And again, they're all from real people. Like you can read them out, like you can ask about their experience as well. So I guess I need some water here, and you can see my slide with eligibility criteria. We have great eligibility criteria. Unfortunately, though, international students are not eligible for our program. And why I say unfortunately, I was an international student myself. I came to Canada, I was an international student. I paid a lot of money to Bow Valley College to become, to get my postgraduate work permit. Then I got my Alberta provincial nominee, then my permanent residency. And just recently, after 8 years, I got my Canadian passport. So it took me quite some time. So but that's the rule. Most of the agencies which work with immigrants and refugees, international students, are not eligible. So same with people who are on work permits, they might be eligible only if they received already provincial nominee. So you have to be in Canada. So you cannot apply outside of Canada. So you have to reside in Canada. So you have to be a permanent resident, Canadian citizen, provincial nominee, protected person, or conviction refugee. You have to be internationally trained. What does it mean? You have to have some education which you obtained abroad. Sometimes the people don't have that, and still, again, it's not the end of the story here. If you don't have that, you can tell us if you have had some experience which you obtained abroad. Usually I see it happens with hairdressers. For example, just recently I heard the story of one client. She was in Toronto, and I think she was from Hungary, but doesn't matter. No, basically she was working there as a hairdresser for 3 years, but she never had a formal education there for hairdressing. So, and that's why when he came to Canada, she heard about Toronto Beauty School or something like that, and then she applied for a loan. And because she had that career success plan in her head, what she wants to do with the money, so she was approved for a loan, and now she's a student in Toronto. So yes, so at least you have to have 1 year of work experience or be internationally trained. So here you can see the QR code. These days everybody knows what this QR code means. So, but basically for some of you who are abroad, maybe you guys, you don't use it there. We use it here a lot, especially like it was with COVID vaccination and everything. So here, if you place your phone in front of the screen, it won't show you vaccination status for those who are in Canada, but it will bring you to our new website where you can take an eligibility quiz. Our eligibility quiz is just 2 minutes. I've done it myself. So it's basically just 3 questions. It doesn't collect your documents like nothing. It's basically, it asks you, are you permanent resident? So it asks about your status. It asks about if you are already in Canada, and then I think it will ask you for your email, and then you will receive the answer same day with all of the instructions of what I'm going to do next. And what to do next, so you can apply online. Like these days, everything happens online. So you can apply online. The application process is pretty straightforward. So you can apply online, you can submit your documents, and then when you submit your documents and our loan applications team, they check it that everything is okay, that you have a permanent status in Canada, then you will be suggested to pick a time to meet with the career success coach. It happens also online. So it's around 1 hour meeting, and again, in that meeting, you can ask as many questions as you want. Like we can ask you some of the questions, like we can see if you need some help with your resume, with your job interview, with financial literacy. Then again, like we can help you in that meeting, or we can refer you to one of our partners. And then after that meeting, if everything goes well, you're happy with us, we are happy with you, then you might be approved for the loan and start your new pathway in Canada. And I know that here I have that the processing time is 10 to 15 days. Well, it's our standard time, but again, as with any organization, you have to understand that sometimes it happens much quicker. So it depends on your availability, on the career coach availability. So again, but I'm entitled to say that it's from 10 to 15 days. And I guess that's almost it. So thank you very much for coming on today to my session. And I'm pretty sure that some of you might have some questions, and I'll share my personal work email, and you can contact me. But also here on this slide, like you can see how you can contact our loan application team. And also, as I said, like you can try our eligibility quiz if you go over there. So our new website again is very good one. It's pretty straightforward. You go there, and then like, you can take exact eligibility quiz, and then you will have a lot of information handy. And then like, you can decide like, what you want to do with that information. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter. And I think I'd like to show you just some things here. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen now. And just for a second. Because I mentioned that we have like a great base of online digital resources, and I always encourage people to visit that. So I'm going to share my screen again here. So I am on my Windmill website right now. For example, this resource, it's called Educational Pathways for Skilled Newcomers. What does it mean? If you scroll down, you will see that here you can find a lot of information about regulated occupations in Canada. So what does it mean? Let's say if you are a doctor and you were an internationally trained doctor. So here you can put your name and your email, and you can download an educational pathway. So over there you'll find all of the steps you need to take in order to become a doctor here. Again, same for lawyers, same for nurses, for pharmacists. So we updating this list like on a monthly basis. So, but for now, we believe we have like the majority of regulated jobs in Canada. So same idea I was telling you, you can take our eligibility quiz. So if you go here, so as I said, it tells you what to do, and a few questions. Do you currently reside in Canada? What province do you live in? And then your immigration status, and then like email and a phone number if you want to be contacted by somebody from our team. Also, we have Windmill's trending jobs report. This is very useful resource. It basically tells you what jobs in the future in Canada will be like more paid, more successful, and in which area it will be easier to find a job. Same here, success stories. I was telling you about like different people. You go here, you can see this picture was taken in Calgary, in front of the government building. So yes, like Claudia actually was in my video which I showed you in the beginning. So lots of stuff. So please visit our website. We have questions about our loans to understand better what to do, our interest rates, all is here. So please visit our website. It's a great resource. Even if you don't go, if you don't want to apply for a loan or not right now, or even if you want to apply for a different loan from your bank or from Alberta student loan, these resources are very valuable for you. And I know that because, as I said, yes, I'm a Canadian citizen, but I'm still an immigrant. So, and I just wish 8 years ago I had known about Windmill, but nobody came and told me about this wonderful organization. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. I'd like to see your beautiful faces and maybe at some point and say hi to everybody. And yes, to answer your question.
Thank you so much, Lydia, for your presentation. I think I learned a lot more about Windmill, and your website looks very interesting. We're now going to bid farewell to our Facebook audience. So Facebook audience, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, guys.